Hello friends, welcome back to our channel NEET Biology Expert. I am Dr. Parveen. In this lecture series, we are studying Class 12 Biology, Human Reproduction. Well, in this particular lesson, we are going to study about mammary glands. That is, what is mammary gland and what are the internal structures present in that mammary glands, how milk is secreted. So these are the details we are going to know in this particular lecture. Mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. You see, by the name, since we have mammary glands, that's why we have been classified under the category mammals. Okay, so you know, animals are classified into different categories. Okay, oviparous, viviparous, like this. And particularly in the viviparous, all the mammals comes. So, organisms which give birth to young ones and feed them, they are called mammals. Particularly, they have mammary glands. So, mammary glands is characteristic of all female mammals. They are present actually in both sexes, but it is rudimentary in male. Rudimentary means it is underdeveloped and non-functional in male, whereas they are functional and well developed in female organisms or female humans. Okay. So what are mammary glands? They are modified sweat gland. You know sweat glands. So our skin has a sweat gland. Beneath our skin we have the sweat gland. They secrete sweat. So similar kind of a gland is a mammary gland. So we call this as a modified sweat gland. Okay. So where it is located? It is located in the thoracic region, in between the second and sixth rib, and they are paired in structure. You know that, right? So the mammary gland is a special type of apocrine gland. So what is apocrine gland? I'll tell you. Okay. And the main function of mammary gland is to produce colostrum after giving birth. So what is colostrum? The first milk secreted by the mammary gland is called colostrum. So after the childbirth, the very first milk which is secreted is called as colostrum. It contains fully antibodies, IgA antibodies are present. These antibodies are very essential for the young one or for the baby, because for the newborn baby the immunity is underdeveloped. So it is having the high risk of being exposed to many microorganisms. Okay. So the mother's milk, particularly the colostrum, the first secreted milk, contains IgA antibodies, which gives the first line of immune defense to the newborn. Okay. And so this mammary gland is an apocrine gland. What is apocrine gland? Apocrine gland means it has both exocrine and endocrine tissues. Such glands are called as apocrine glands. Okay. Both exocrine and endocrines. So apocrine glands are derived from primary epithelial germ cells along with hair follicle and sebaceous glands. Okay, look at this picture. This is a apocrine gland, basic thing. So this is an apocrine gland. This gland contains primary epithelial germ cells. So here it has the germ cells which secrete some substance. Okay, so through this duct they get excreted, and they get excreted here where it joins along with the sebaceous glands. Okay, and from this hair follicle, through this route they comes out. Okay, so this is the basic structure of an apocrine gland. So apocrine gland consists of a secretory portion in the deep dermis. So in the dermal region of the skin, the secretory portion is there, and it is connected through a small duct which enters into the hair follicle infundibulum, and from there they enter out through the sebaceous duct. Okay, it comes out to the common sebaceous ducts. So there are few apocrine glands in our body. So one example is eyelids. See, we have eyelids, no? So in our eyelids on the corners we have a certain gland called ciliary gland. These glands secrete some substances which helps in the lubrication of the eyes. Okay. And second one is cerumen. You know cerumen? C-E-R-U-M-E-N. Cerumen is called ear wax. Okay. So in our ears, inside the ears, we have a wax like substance. We used to remove it with the buds. You know, that is a protective mechanism which is naturally available in our ears. So what happens, this earwax used to capture the microorganisms and dust particle whichever tries to enter through the ear. Okay, it's a natural first line defense mechanism. So this earwax is secreted by ceruminous glands, right? And third apocrine gland is the mammary gland, which secrete milk in the female organisms. Okay, so let us study in detail about the mammary glands and its structure. The mammary gland consists of glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. So this is very important. So what are the main components of mammary glands? First, it contains huge amount of fat. That's why the size of the breast itself is lump. Okay, so it's because of huge amount of fat. And number two, it consists of more glandular tissue. Okay, so what is glandular tissue? Glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 50 to 20 mammary lobes. So glandular tissue, you see this picture, the picture at the left. Okay, so here this purple color structures, these purple color structures are called mammary lobes. So like this, in each breast there are about 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Okay, like this in either side. Throughout there are mammary lobes. Okay, so this structure is called mammary lobes. So what are mammary lobes? Actually they are basically glandular tissue. The glandular tissue has many lobes like segments, and each thing we call as lobes. Okay, so inside each lobe what is present? Each lobe is made up of lobules. Each lobe is made up of lobules, which contain acini or alveoli lined by epithelial cells. Okay, so inside each mammary lobes, each section is called as lobules. Okay, so the lobules contain alveoli. So what is alveoli? This is somewhat similar, you could imagine about lung alveoli. So you know how the lung alveoli will be. So the end part of the respiratory system is the alveoli. Okay, so the alveoli of the lung will be like this, you know, right? So where the gaseous exchange takes place, oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange between the air and the blood takes place. Okay, this structure is called alveoli. So like this, one structure is there. This is the alveoli. This is the alveoli. It is present in this mammary lobes. Okay, and each alveoli contains a line of cells. Look here, they contain a line of cells. They are called epithelial cells. Each cell has a one nucleus, center nucleus. Okay, so like this, each alveoli is having layer and layers and layers of epithelial cells. These epithelial cells secrete milk. Okay, so the cells of the alveoli, which cells? Epithelial cells, they secrete the milk. So from here only the milks get secreted. They are called epithelial milk secreting cell. Okay, so let's revise this again. This breast contains glandular tissue and fat. So what are glandular tissues? Glandular tissues means each breast contains around 15 to 20 mammary lobes. They are called mammary lobes. This purple color structure are called mammary lobes. So everything together we called as glandular tissue. Okay, and each mammary lobes contain lobules. So what is present inside the lobules? There are more alveoli present inside the lobules. So what is present inside the alveoli? Epithelial cells are present inside the alveoli. So those epithelial cells only secrete the milk. Okay, so this is the basic histology of a mammary gland. So now let's see the milk secretion pathway. So we now know that the alveoli contains the epithelial cells which secrete the milk. Okay, so those milk how gets released out? Through which pathway it gets released out? That is the milk secretion pathway, which is very important considering the exam point of view. Okay, see here, the alveoli opens into mammary tubes. Alveoli opens into mammary tubes. So this is the picture given in the NCERT book. We'll just go through this at a glance. Okay, so see here, this is the ribs. ribs. Okay, this is the rib, and this one is the muscle. Pectoralis major muscle, that is the shoulder muscle here. Okay, and so what is present? Huge amount of fat cells is present in the mammary gland, and these structures, the first, see here, these structures are called, these structures are called mammary alveoli. Okay, so this alveoli, this is mammary alveoli. This alveoli secrete the milk which comes out through a tubules called mammary duct. So it comes out through a tube-like structure. So from each alveoli, it comes out through a tube-like structure. So this is called mammary duct. Okay, so several mammary ducts joins together in a wider area that is called ampulla. So here, like this, many mammary ducts joins together in a wider area. This wider area is called ampulla. Okay, this wider area is called ampulla. This one is ampulla. Okay, and the ampulla is then later connected ends in lactiferous ducts, and lactiferous ducts opens the pores in the nipples. Okay, so this is the basic route of the milk secretion. So let's see some more detail with this picture. Okay, look at this picture here. All this violet color structure, these violet color structure are the mammary lobes. So there are more than 15 to 20 mammary lobes. So this is the mammary lobe, first structure. Okay, so mammary lobes again segmented into lobules. Each lobules contain alveoli. Alveoli contain epithelial cells. Epithelial cells secrete milk. Those milks are getting collected and they comes out through mammary tubules. So see here, these orange color branches, these are the mammary tubules. So like this, there are so many branches of mammary tubules which brings the secreted milk. Okay, so these mammary tubules join together to form mammary duct. All this join together to form this structure, mammary duct. Okay, then the mammary duct opens into a wide region. See here, this wide region. This is called mammary ampulla. Mammary ampulla. Okay, and ampulla is connected outwards through a lactiferous ducts, and this duct ends in the nipple. So this is the basic milk pathway, right? Okay. So here you have to remember one more thing. There is something called lactiferous sinus. Lactiferous sinus. What is lactiferous sinus? This is serves as a reservoir of the milk. So under the nipple, each lactiferous duct expands to form lactiferous sinus, which serves as the reservoir of milk. Okay. So where lactiferous duct is present, this here, lactiferous duct. Okay, so in this area we have another area that is called lactiferous sinus which serves as a reservoir. So whatever milk produced, secreted, they gets collected in this sinus region at the end near the nipple. Okay, so once the milk is sucked by the baby, it released out immediately. Okay. Then this nipple is surrounded by a pigmented area that is called areola. So surrounding the nipple there is a black or brownish pigmented structure. This structure is called areola. Okay. So what is most important in this particular lesson is this milk secretion pathway. This is very, very important for your exam point of view and also for the NEET exams. Okay. So let us study what is this pathway in detail. Okay. So see, when you talk about breast or the mammary gland, so what first thing comes? The first thing comes is the glandular tissue, right? Glandular tissue and fat. So fat has no role in the milk secretion. Glandular tissue, they contain lobes. What lobes? Everything starts with mammary. Mammary means milk secretion. Mammary lobes. Okay. Mammary lobes is segmented into mammary lobules. And what is present in the mammary lobules? Mammary lobules contain alveoli. Alveoli contain the epithelial cells which secrete the milk. Okay. So here this structures is basic structure, and from here, from the alveoli only milk secretion starts, because epithelial cells are present in the alveoli. So alveoli, epithelial cells, they secrete the milk which enters into the mammary tubule, which gets collected into the mammary tubule. See this orange color structure, I told you, no, this is the mammary tubule. Okay, so from the mammary tubule, the milk gets collected in the mammary duct. Okay, so all the tubules joins here and forms the mammary ducts, and mammary ducts expands into a wider region called mammary ampulla, and from there it gets out through the lactiferous ducts. Before that, there is a storage region called lactiferous sinus, and then through the lactiferous ducts, and it comes out through the nipple. Okay, so this is the milk secretion pathway, where you could remember A, T, D, A, S. Alveoli, tubule, duct, ampulla, sinus. Okay, so this sequence is very important, please remember. So here mammary glands are called accessory female reproductive organs. Okay, so why accessory female reproductive organs? Because they play a major role throughout the female reproductive phase. Okay, right, start from the ovulation, and then in the menstrual cycle, and in the production of the milk, childbirth and child care. So like this, it has a major role throughout the reproductive phase. So that's why it's a major important accessory female reproductive organ, and its main function is to produce milk and secrete the milk after the parturition. What is parturition? That means delivery. Parturition means delivery, childbirth. So after childbirth only the milk produced. Okay, development of this mammary gland begins at the puberty. It develops in the adolescent stage, but it keeps on undergoing certain changes during every menstrual cycle because of the hormonal control, estrogen and progesterone, right? So in non-pregnant women, the glandular structure is underdeveloped. You know, breast contains fat tissues and glandular tissues. This glandular tissues contains the alveoli cells, which are the milk secreting cells. Okay, so those cells or those tissues are underdeveloped in a non-pregnant woman. So in a pregnant woman, these cells starts to produce more. They gets ready for the milk secretion once the baby is delivered. Okay, also the size of a breast depends largely on the deposition of the fat and not the size of the glandular tissue. Also, we should remember that the size of the breast does not have an influence on the efficiency of the lactation. So how much milk secreted, the lactation efficiency does not depends upon the size of the breast, because the more amount of the fat, the size of the breast will be bigger. But the efficiency of milk secretion depends only on the glandular tissue. Okay, right. So here when we are studying about breast, we must be knowing certain points that is called breast cancer. So the most important problem which occurs in women is the breast cancer. So breast cancer, the first symptom of the breast cancer is a lump in the breast or underarm. Okay, the lump is usually painless, and swelling of all or the part of the breast later occurs. Sometimes skin irritation and pain in the nipple, redness, like this, the symptoms gradually develops as the cancer progresses, and sometimes there will be a discharge or blood leakage in the nipple region. Okay, so those are the symptoms of the breast cancer. So that can be detected using a mammogram, that is X-ray or ultrasound or MRI, biopsy sample, or through the blood test. So what is the treatment for the breast cancer? It's radiation therapy, chemotherapy, or removal of that surgical removal of the lumpectomy, or the surgical removal of the breast in the progressed stage. Okay, so the sooner it gets diagnosed, the easier it is to treat the breast cancer. Okay, and also here you should know some word called weaning. So what is weaning? The mother milk is replaced gradually by solid food after some time. This process is called weaning. You know, up to 2.5 to 3 years, maximum 5 years also, some babies, they take the mother's milk and slowly they stop taking the mother's milk, breastfeeding, and they start eating the solid food. Okay, so that process is called weaning. Replacing the mother's milk gradually by the solid food is called weaning. Okay, right? So what is most important in this particular lesson is you should remember that the breast or the mammary glands contain glandular tissue and fat. Fat has no role in the production of milk. It is just a supporting structure. Okay, and this glandular tissue contains mammary lobes. Mammary lobes again divided into mammary lobules. Mammary lobules has alveoli. The alveoli contains epithelial cells. They secrete the milk. Okay, and this pathway from alveoli, it enters the tubule. From tubule, mammary duct. From mammary duct, it gets collected in the ampulla and stored in the lactiferous sinuses and gets released out. So this pathway is very important for you to remember. Okay, so I hope this lecture is clear. Our next lecture will be on spermatogenesis. If you like this, like, share and subscribe to our channel, NEET Biology Expert. Thank you.